starting out, it's probably all going to be a verbal type thing. He's going to talk to his client. They're going to, if the offer is 160, they're going to say we want 170. Now, Glenn can now go to the offer that he has on his computer. It's not actually on his computer, it's in the cloud. He can change the number from 150 to 160. Essentially a counter offer. My client's signature on that page is now going to disappear because it's no longer valid. His client will sign it, click, send it back to me, and then we'll decide, we'll review it. You know, if there's more to talk about it, you know, maybe we change the number, and then the seller's signature would disappear until you get that final executed. Okay. That's one way. I mean, you could go that way. It could be just a verbal. Glenn comes back and says, hey, my guy will take 160. And then you can go in, and what you would do is you recall that, you withdraw the offer, change it, and resubmit it back to Glenn, and then his client signs it. So there's a couple of different ways.
Say that last part again.
Let me see if I can find here.
No, just state it again, because I think that's the answer to my question.
The offer goes to Glenn. Okay, the initial offer is $150,000. Glenn comes back to me on the phone and says, hey, my client is countering at 160. And we say, fine. Now Glenn doesn't want, you know, Glenn, let's say, I don't know if he's tech savvy or not, but he doesn't want to change anything. He's just telling me verbally that's what it is. Says, you know, change the paperwork, send it back over. I can go into the system, recall that offer, change the price, and resubmit it right back to him so that he has an updated offer with the 160 price.
Okay. You didn't answer my question, so let me ask it.
Yeah.
Your offer is 150. They look at it and say, you know, we'll take 160. That comes back to you. Do you keep a copy
Yes.
of the original offer?
Everything is kept. Every change, every version, everything that you do in this system is kept. So there's layers. The layer you're working on is version, they call it version now. That's the active version. But you'll see in these, and this doesn't have it yet, but you'll have versions 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can access the archive. So you have a complete paper trail of that. You see here, these are the versions of these documents that I had in this system. These are all version 1. And here's, I sent this addendum out last night to the agent. So I'm waiting for a response back from his seller on this. So when I get it, I'll get the text. Okay. So that's your buying loop. It's completely, you can be completely online. Okay? The goal for Keller Williams is 100% participation by family reunion this year, that everybody's up and running on.
By Friday.
No, by family reunion.
Gina's rules by Friday.
Well, the activation of the eEdge, we went up right away. Okay, so let's, all right, you know, people resist change. Everybody knows nobody likes change, even though they vote for it every 4 years. So what happens when you have that client who has to submit the hard copy? Let's see here. I'm going to switch this because I don't want to send Glenn an offer on like it. All right, attachments. So we need to bring in an attachment. Let's do it this way. The KW in-house forms that we use, the transaction form, the 295, they're not, obviously they're not in the PAR system. So we need to bring those into this loop because it's required to do so. So we need to bring that attachment. Attachments have to be PDF files. So we're going to go search out and add an attachment. It's going to ask you.
Thank you, I have to run, but I have some questions, I'll email you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to look for the attachments on the company transaction fee. We're going to bring that in. We're going to name it transactions.
Someone's tap dancing above us.
We're going to add that into the loop. Now, it's just a PDF. So we need to add a place on that form for signatures. This will work if it's a hard copy offer. I had a client in California this week who wanted to make an offer, so I was able to add signature lines onto these forms for her to sign. So you can come in here, you're going to add signatures or initials. It's going to pull up the form. It's going to ask you to drop the signature line. You're going to click here. It's going to ask who's signing this. The buying client is signing this. You're going to drop that right down there. If we're both signing this, I'm the buying agent. I'm going to drop my signature and I'm going to put it right down there. And I'm going to move on and save that. Now it's going to ask me if I have to sign. My signature's on there. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to sign it now. And I'm going to come down here, click it, and save and continue, and it's done. It's going to ask me now to authorize my signature. Sign it, and now it's going to ask me where I'm going to send it. Would you like to send it to anyone? So yes, I'm going to send it to my client. I'm not sure where they go, but it's going to go just like it did before. It's going to go to that person's email. They're going to pull it up. They're going to sign it, and then I'm going to get the text that form has been executed and signed by both parties. You can do that for anything. I have loops here that I did for just personal documents. I have a folder, a loop that I created that was just forms that was personal documents. I had it here. I had a bank form or something for my daughter's school that needed to be signed. The federal government passed the law back in 2000, the Electronic Signature Act, which mandates that electronic signatures have to be accepted. They're legal, just as if you're standing there signing it. So I have, and I'll show you what a signature looks like. Here it is. So this was for my daughter, and there, I signed it. So that's what it looks like. It's e-signed, there's a code, there's a date, there's a time associated with this code, and the date that I signed it. I emailed it off, and that was it. It signed it, actually, you use it for bank thing. I mean, you use it for anything, not just the real estate. But I digress.
Where do you get that? Or where do you that?
You would scan it, any PDF file that you have, you can scan into your system if you get it through email or if you scan it upstairs on the computer. And then you come here, you add attachment. And you're going to go onto your browse to where it is and then add the form. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to name it. I'm going to continue, just like I just did a few minutes ago.
Now, I'm in the electronic signature. How do you
The electronic signature is something that's you're set up already in your through your eEdge account and through My Transactions. You're gonna they've already set you up with that. When you log in, it'll take you through some of the steps you need to do, but you create that password for it and that kind of stuff. But that's all set up for you. Your clients and the co-op agents, they're going to be invited into the loop. So they're going to get an email with a link to how they can register. And And their register is their name and their email and their password. And then they're registered to sign electronically.
So you don't physically sign?
You do not.
Okay.
No, and in fact, when you saw.
So it wasn't your signature?
No.
Okay.
And originally, when they came out with electronic signatures, there was no script, because the script is irrelevant. But people like seeing the script, so they added this script thing. So it looked, because all you really need is the code that's underneath it. That's the actual signature part, not the little fancy script.
It's fancy dancy.
Okay, and then lastly, you know, we're all used to printing out, 50 sheets of an offer, taking it to Amity's desk, dropping it on Amity, and then those guys review it. Now, that's going to be done electronically. You're going to go to the buying loop. It's going to see right here, options available. You're going to click on that, and you're going to submit for review. And that's going to go to the MCA for review. And you'll see, they'll be able to see all the, everything that's come in, they'll review it, and you'll get notices on that. The other thing to sort of be aware of is that all the loops, everything that you're doing, even those personal documents at this point, Therese has access, the broker has access to everything. So she can see everything that's going on in the office, every loop, everything that's being worked on will show up in what they call the broker dashboard. So she has an idea of what people are working on and that kind of stuff.